At the piano, Richard Carpenter seems to be holding up as well as his music.
You're coming up on 75.
Yes, I am.
At home, outside Los Angeles, he has some impressive hardware.
You have 3 Grammys?
Yes.
For decades, the legacy of the Carpenters has been synonymous with timeless music and unmatched talent. But it's also been clouded by tragedy and swirling rumors. At the center of this story lies Karen Carpenter, whose angelic voice captivated millions, and her brother Richard, the creative mastermind behind their iconic sound. Now, at 78 years old, Richard Carpenter is finally ready to address those long-standing rumors about his sister that have puzzled fans and intrigued the media for years. The relationship between Richard and Karen Carpenter was at the heart of their incredible success as the Carpenters. Their connection wasn't just familial, it was a rare and deeply creative partnership. Richard, the older of the two, was the mastermind behind their intricate musical arrangements, meticulously crafting the lush and polished sound that would become their hallmark. Karen, with her evocative and unmistakable voice, brought life to those arrangements, transforming them into songs that captivated audiences around the world. Their collaboration was symbiotic. Karen relied on Richard's musical vision, trusting him to guide the artistic direction of their work, while Richard depended on her ability to convey emotions effortlessly through her singing. In interviews, Richard has acknowledged her natural gift, describing how her voice could elevate even the simplest of melodies into something unforgettable, an ability that resonated deeply with their fans. Their bond went far beyond music. As siblings, they supported and relied on each other, sharing the highs and lows of life in the limelight. But this tight-knit dynamic, while essential to their success, also added to the pressure they faced. The line between family and professional life often blurred, and their shared ambition left little room for addressing personal struggles individually. While they worked seamlessly together, the demands of constant touring, recording, and maintaining a pristine public image took their toll. Even with their undeniable closeness, some personal challenges, such as Karen's battle with anorexia, remained under the surface for much of their career, revealing the complexities of their relationship and the pressures of their shared pursuit of perfection. Throughout Karen Carpenter's career, public speculation about her health grew increasingly persistent, particularly regarding her struggle with anorexia nervosa. At the time, eating disorders were poorly understood, often dismissed or stigmatized, both by the public and within the entertainment industry. Karen's visibly declining health became a frequent topic of conversation, but these concerns were often overshadowed by the pressure to maintain a polished public image. Beyond her health, rumors also circulated about the intense demands of the music industry and how they may have influenced Karen's life. Perfectionism and control were often associated with her role in the Carpenters' success. Critics and fans alike speculated that the relentless pressure to deliver perfection, whether through vocals, public appearances, or maintaining a certain image, exacerbated her struggles. The media also played a significant role in amplifying these rumors. Karen's appearance was often scrutinized in interviews and articles, with little sensitivity toward her personal challenges. This climate of relentless judgment not only fueled public speculation, but also added to the immense pressure she was already facing privately. It became clear, only later, that what many dismissed as industry gossip was an alarming reflection of the darker realities Karen was battling behind the scenes. Her story remains a tragic example of how the entertainment world's pressures and public scrutiny can deeply impact an individual's well-being. For many years, Richard Carpenter refrained from publicly addressing the persistent rumors surrounding his sister, Karen. His silence was often interpreted as reluctance to stir up painful memories or confront sensitive topics in the media. One possible reason for this was Richard's deep respect for Karen's privacy. He understood how challenging her personal battles were and seemed determined to shield her legacy from unnecessary scrutiny. On a more personal level, the emotional toll of losing his sister was significant. Karen's death in 1983 deeply affected Richard, not only as a musician, but also as her brother. Her loss marked the end of their creative partnership and altered the course of his life and career forever. This overwhelming grief, combined with the weight of protecting their musical legacy, may have contributed to his hesitance to revisit those difficult chapters of their lives. Richard also seemed focused on preserving the image of the Carpenters as artists whose music brought joy to millions. By not diving into the speculation publicly, he protected their work from being overshadowed by tragedy. His silence, while sometimes questioned, reflected a careful balance between honoring Karen's memory and maintaining their timeless contributions to music history. After decades of speculation, Richard Carpenter has finally addressed some of the long-standing rumors surrounding his sister, Karen. In recent interviews, he confirmed that Karen's struggle with anorexia nervosa was far more severe than most people understood at the time. Reflecting on her journey, Richard acknowledged that the condition was poorly recognized in the 1970s, stating in a recent interview with The Guardian that anorexia wasn't even thought about back then. They didn't even know what it was. Richard also elaborated on how the pressures of fame played a role in Karen's declining health. While he admitted that Karen faced immense pressure from both the industry and public expectations, he was clear to point out that her condition was multifaceted, involving both personal and external factors. It wasn't just one thing. It wasn't just the music or the criticism. It was a lot of things coming together, Richard shared in the same interview. What is perhaps most striking about Richard's acknowledgement is his candid reflection on the lack of awareness and support during that time. He noted how there were virtually no resources available for someone like Karen, adding that the tools to address mental health and eating disorders simply didn't exist in the way they do now. By opening up about these issues, Richard has given fans a deeper understanding of the challenges Karen faced behind the scenes, while also shedding light on how the entertainment industry's limitations contributed to her struggles. This rare openness paints a more complete and painful picture of the cost of their success, offering both clarity and a sobering reminder of how much has changed and how much more still needs to improve. Richard Carpenter has spoken out about the role the music industry played in Karen's struggles, acknowledging how its demands exacerbated her already fragile mental and physical state. In modern interviews, Richard has reflected on how the relentless focus on image, particularly for female artists, added immense pressure. Karen's thin appearance quickly became a public fixation, with the media commenting on her looks rather than focusing on her talent. Alongside this, the industry's unrelenting schedule and expectations left little room for personal care or recovery. In the same interview with The Guardian, Richard mentioned that Karen often felt the pressure to meet impossible standards, noting, "There was always pressure to look a certain way in this business, and Karen felt that acutely." He also criticized the lack of awareness in the 1970s about mental health and eating disorders, likening it to an era where such issues were either dismissed or outright ignored. Reflecting on the modern music industry, Richard expressed cautious optimism about how mental health is now discussed more openly. However, he was skeptical of whether the entertainment world has truly changed. The industry is different now, but the pressure is still there. It's just in different forms, he stated in a recent interview with Rolling Stone. One of the key lessons Richard hopes people will learn from Karen's story is the importance of recognizing the warning signs early and addressing them without stigma. He has highlighted the need for better support systems, both in the industry and beyond, to ensure that no one faces the kinds of challenges Karen did without the resources to seek help.